Morning, students. Today we are going to see another form of transformation, that is direct to indirect speech. So now let's see what is meant by direct speech and what are first. Let's see what is meant by direct speech. Then what is indirect speech? What is the difference between direct speech and indirect speech, and what are the rules that you should follow while transforming from direct to indirect and vice versa. So, in the English language, there are two ways of conveying what someone else has said. So, one is direct or quoted speech. So, you should note the word there, quoted speech. Quoted means it will be written within the inverted commas. And indirect speech or reported speech. Indirect speech will not be written within inverted commas. That is the main difference between direct speech will be written within the inverted commas and indirect speech will not be written within the inverted commas. It starts with the capital letter and ends with the full stop. And how do we change direct speech to indirect speech? So, the following rules have to be kept in your mind while you change direct speech to indirect speech. How to use reported speech? When we use reported speech, we are usually talking about the past. So, therefore, verbs usually change to the past tense in reported speech. For example, am, is. These two are be form of verbs and they become was. This is singular be verb. Am and is are singular form and therefore it changes to was. It is the past tense of am and is. Or next is are. Are is the plural present form of be verb and it changes to were. Have form of verbs have and has. They become had. Had is the past tense of have and has. Can and can't. They become could and couldn't. So they are the past tense forms of can and can't. Will and won't become would and wouldn't. So all these are changed from present tense form to past tense form. Next, tense changes in indirect speech. This is a very important part where you have to concentrate. So already we have seen in indirect speech we use past tense form of verb. So while we are changing from direct to indirect, all the present tense form of verbs change to the respective past tense form of verb. Present simple tense, it changes into past simple. Present continuous tense, it changes to past continuous. Present perfect tense changes to past perfect. Present perfect continuous changes to past perfect continuous. Past simple changes to past perfect. Past continuous changes to past perfect continuous. Future simple, that is will change into would, and future continuous will be changed into would be. Future perfect will be changed into would have. So next slide shows you the changes in time and adverbs in indirect speech. So today, tomorrow, yesterday, next week, next month, next year, last week, last month, last year, now, just, ago, here, this. So all these are adverbials of time in direct speech which will be used, and let us see how they are correspondingly changed. So let us take for example today. Today gets changed into that day, the same day. Tomorrow, the next day, the following day. So either it can be changed into the next day or the following day. Yesterday will get changed into the day before the previous day. Next week, next month, next year. So they will be correspondingly changed into the following week, the following month, the following year. Last week, last month, and last year will get correspondingly changed into the previous year, the previous month, and previous year. So now and just, they get changed into then. Ago is changed into before. Here is changed into there. This is changed into these. So this will be there, and if it is these in present tense form, the same these will be there. If it is those, the same, those will be there in indirect speech. So this you have to keep in mind. Next, direct speech. What is it? So you should know before changing a sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, you should know what is a direct speech. A direct speech or a quoted speech involves quoting the exact words uttered by the person within inverted commas or quotation mark. So this we already saw in the beginning itself. Here is an example for direct speech statement form. This is a statement form, and you should observe that there are two parts in a given sentence. So Annie said. So this is one part. This is called as the reporting part. And you could see that it begins, the reported part begins with a quotation here. I will be coming home tonight. So that is the reported part of sentence. So there are two parts here. One is reporting part, the other one is the reported part. Annie said. You could find that Annie is the noun and said is the verb. And this verb, said, is said to be reporting verb. You could find that it is in past tense. When it is past tense, you have to entirely change the verb of the spoken sentence also. See here, it will be will be. So it is in will be coming. So it is in future continuous. You have to correspondingly change into the respective tense that we have already seen in the tabular column. So said, when the reporting verb is in said, the entire verb of the spoken sentence should be changed correspondingly. And adverbials of time and place should also be changed. Here you could find that the adverbial of time is tonight. So that is to be changed. The first step is identify what type of sentence it is. So we have identified that it is a statement form of sentence. So next thing is, what is the conjunction that you will use for statement form of sentence? For a statement form of sentence, you will be using the conjunction that, and you have to change the pronoun. So who is saying this? This depends on the speaker and the listener. Only the speaker is given here, no listener is given. So this pronoun represents Annie. So Annie is a female gender. So this will, I will correspondingly change into she. So Annie said she would be coming home that night. So that is the transformed form of reported form. So the first step is identify the form of sentence, whether it is statement, interrogative, imperative or exclamatory. Then what, identify the verb, reporting verb. If it is in past tense form, the spoken sentence verb will also get changed correspondingly. Suppose if the reporting verb is in present tense, for example says, you shouldn't change the verb of the spoken sentence. So even if it is a universal truth or a scientific fact, if the sentence represents a universal truth or a scientific fact, you shouldn't change the tense of the spoken sentence. That thing you have to keep in mind. Please note it in your notebook. When the reporting verb is in past tense, you have to change the tense of the reported spoken sentence also. But when the verb, reporting verb is in present tense, future tense, or it represents a universal truth or a scientific fact, the spoken sentence verb should not be changed. It has to be remaining in the same tense in what it is given. So this is a statement form of example that we have seen. Now let us go and see what is indirect speech. Indirect speech or reported speech, on the other hand, does not have to be written within quotes or reported word to word. So that is the difference between a direct speech and an indirect speech. In direct speech, we report it, or the spoken words are written within the inverted commas, whereas in indirect speech, we do not use any inverted commas. In fact, unless one is relying the exact word spoken, one should never use quotation marks. So let us see the example here. Already what we have seen in the previous slide. She said that she would be coming home that night. So we have seen that Annie said, there was a comma, then the quotation starts, I will be coming home today. So that was the given sentence and it has changed to she said that. That is the conjunction for statement type of sentence. She would be coming, will be coming has been changed to would be coming home that night. Today night, that is changed into that night. So this is the change in indirect speech. So the four things has to be kept in mind. First is identify the sentence, what type of sentence it is, whether it is a statement, interrogative, imperative or exclamatory. Then what is the conjunction that you have to use. Statement form of sentences have that as conjunction. Interrogative has two types again. There are two types of interrogative questions. One is WH question and the other one is yes or no type question. WH question has the same WH word as conjunction and yes or no type question has if or whether. Imperative sentences, they have to as conjunction, that is an infinitive will be the conjunction used in imperative sentence, and again statement form of sentences they have that as the conjunction. So this you have to keep in mind. So next is indirect speech for interrogative question sentence. So question type of sentences. For changing interrogative sentence into indirect speech, we have to observe the nature of question and then change into indirect speech according to its rules for indirect speech. So already I told you there are two types of interrogation. One is WH question and the other one is yes or no type question. So a question can be of two types. One type which can be answered in only yes or no, and the other type which needs a little bit explanation for its answer and cannot be answered in only yes or no. That is the WH question. So the conjunction for yes or no type question is if or whether, and the conjunction for WH question is the same WH word. So all WH words can be taken as conjunction. For example, let me give for example what, when, why, how, which, where. All these WH words can be used as conjunctions depending on the situation. And one more important thing here, the reporting verb, if it is said or said to, that will get changed into asked question and inquired according to the situation. So that also you have to keep in mind. So now let us see how the WH questions are changed. So the word order gets changed here. You have to be very careful. WH question will change into a statement form in indirect speech. Let us see an example here. What did Brian give Tracy for her birthday? So you could find that the WH word is what and did is the auxiliary verb. All WH words will be followed by auxiliary verb or a main verb. Brian is the subject here. Give, did plus give is past tense, that will be changed into gave. Tracy, for her birthday. So this is a WH question. And who gave her those roses? That is also a WH question which is beginning with who. And you could find that gave is there besides that WH word. Gave is the verb here. You could find here this is the main verb and did plus give is auxiliary verb. So WH questions can be either in this type or in this type. So let us see how they are changed. What did Brian give Tracy for her birthday? This is the question here and this cannot be answered in yes or no type. So this gives some extension of the question. So the women asked, see here, the said is changed to asked here, reporting verb. Her friend, the women asked the friend what. So the same WH word is used as a conjunction here. Brian had given, did plus give is gave, so that represents past tense and it has been correspondingly changed into past perfect. A past tense form of verb changes into past perfect. Had given Tracy for her birthday. So let me again repeat that answer. The women asked a friend what Brian had given Tracy for her birthday. So you have to be very careful. Only you go wrong while changing interrogation type of sentences. Now let us go to the other example that we have seen. Who gave Tracy those roses? Who is the WH word, gave is the verb, Tracy is the person to whom the roses are given, and rose is the object. The women asked a friend who. See here, the same WH word is used as a conjunction here. Had given. Again, gave is changed to past perfect here. Tracy those roses. The women asked a friend who had given Tracy those roses. So next is the example for yes or no type question. See there, you could see direct speech. They said to me, did you go to school? So yes or no type question always begins with a auxiliary verb. So either it can be primary auxiliary verb or a modal auxiliary verb. So it depends on the situation again. So indirect speech, they asked me. So see here, they said to me. Said to is changed into asked. Since it is a question type, interrogative type, it has been changed to asked me. See the conjunction here, if is used here. Yes or no type always has the conjunction if or whether. If I had gone, did you go? Did plus go is went. So that past tense is changed to had gone to school. So they asked me if I had gone to school. Since it is me here, that has been changed to I, the person. First person has been changed here. So this is objective pronoun, and that has been changed to subjective pronoun here. They asked me if I had gone to the school. So after this conjunction, if you could see that a subject had gone is verb, to school is adjunct. So it is forming a sentence pattern is followed as a statement type of sentence. So a question has been changed to statement in the indirect form. So that you have to keep in mind. Next is indirect speech of imperative sentence, a sentence which expresses command, request, advice, suggestion, warning. All these are called as imperative sentence. For example, open the door, please help me, learn your lessons. All these are imperative sentences. Now let us see how these sentences are changed. To change such sentences into indirect speech, the word ordered, requested, advised, suggested, forbade, not to do is added to reporting verb depending upon the nature of imperative sentence in reported speech. So that said to or said is changed to ordered, requested, advised, suggested, forbade, and not to do. So negative sentences, they are changed to not to. So let us see some of the examples in the following tabulation. He said to me, please help me. Look at the sentence in direct speech here. He said to me, please help me. That is in the request form. So we are changing that into he requested. That said to is changed to requested here in indirect speech. He requested me to help me, to help him. So to help is the conjunction here, and infinitive is used as a conjunction here. Next, let us go to the next one. She said to him, you should work hard for exam. He suggested. So this is in the form of a suggestion. So we are changing that said to into suggested. He suggested him to work hard for exam. To work is the conjunction here. Again an infinitive. They said to him, do not tell a lie. So they said to him. So they said to, this can also be changed as advice. So don't tell a lie. That can be also told as an advice. So they said to him not to tell a lie. Look at there. Since it is a negative sentence, we are changing into not to tell a lie. He said, open the door. He ordered to open the door. So this is in the form of an order. The teacher said to the student, do not waste time. So this is again an advice. The teacher advised the students not to waste time. So these are some of the examples of imperative sentences. Next, we are going to the last type of sentence, that is exclamatory sentence. Sentence which expresses state of joy or sorrow or wonder is called as an exclamatory sentence. For example, hurrah, we have won the match. Alas, I failed the test. Wow, what a nice shirt it is. So these are some of the example. To change such sentences, the words exclaimed with joy or exclaimed with sorrow or exclaimed with wonder is added to the reporting verb depending upon the nature of the exclamatory sentence in indirect speech. So the said or said to is changed into exclaimed with sorrow, exclaimed with joy, or exclaimed with wonder in exclamatory sentence. Now let us see some of the examples here. He said, "Hooray, I won a prize." He exclaimed with joy. So since it is an exclamatory, that is a happy expression, we say exclaimed with joy that he had won a prize. So that is the conjunction for exclamatory sentence in indirect speech. She said, "Alas, I failed in exam." So this is a sorrow expression. So we are writing as, or we are changing it as, she exclaimed with sorrow that she failed in the exam. So again, let's see here. That is the conjunction here. She failed in the exam. John said, "Wow, what a nice shirt it is." So that is wonder. So this sentence is expressing wonder. John exclaimed with wonder that it was a nice shirt. Again, we are using that as the conjunction here also. So these are some of the transformation, and you have to keep in mind, and you can work out examples so that you get familiarized with the transformation. And one more thing, when you're changing from indirect to direct speech, you have to follow the vice versa or the reversal order of the rules that you have learned. Thank you, children. Keep doing your exercises.